And I guess we're all set, so let's do this. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to my stream. I'm Pierre, your host. I hope you're all doing A-OK. Today is Friday, so that means we are going to try to hurry up so we can get out of here as quick as possible and start partying for the weekend. But first of all, we have to start off our day like we always do. We're going to go over to the computer and we're going to check out what we did yesterday, and then we'll tackle our day from there. So, what did we do? I think the first thing that we did is that we added some shadowing to the background of our, well, it's outer space. That's what it's going to be when it's all done. And then we added the 2 coats of cerulean blue, which will make up our sky. So that is basically what we did before. And what are we going to do today? Well, the first thing I have to do is I have to draw my little centerpiece. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to draw the centerpiece. And then after that, I am going to start putting some lighter cerulean on our sky just to give it some more of these spiraling effects, right? So let's not waste some time because I'm going to have to concentrate. It might be kind of boring for the first half hour because because I have to draw my people, or whatever you want to call it, my centerpiece, mes personnages, as you would say in French. So let me just take a look here. I'm going to get into it right away. I don't want this to last too long. Okay, so I think basically I'm going to go in here. So let me just grab this right away. Might as well get rid of this line that I did the other day, just have an idea. And then I'm going to start drawing right now. So I am going to bring the camera number 1 in a little bit, zoom in so you can see really what I'm doing. Hopefully you'll be able to tell. So I'm going to go right in there, right? So let's do it like that. Okay, so, and I'll just switch over to camera number 1. And I'm going to keep working and stop talking so I can concentrate really on what I'm doing. I'm basically drawing a child and its parent. Just a few reference points. Rough draft here. Not even on camera. Oh, no. Okay. Okay. I think that's basically just the general idea of what I want. After that, after that, we can figure it out as we go along. So let me just step back and take a look at these proportions. Okay, doesn't look bad. something like that. Change the whole. There we go. Okay, so that's basically done. I mean, the people in this painting are not the main focus of the painting. The whole point is to show the whole cosmos, really, and how little man is in our universe. That is basically the whole point of this painting, at least what I had in mind. So, let's go back now and work on this background. And for that, I'm going to get some lighter, some cerulean blue mixed with some white to make it lighter. I mean, we are not going after a hyper-realistic painting, obviously, right? That is not my thing at all. I kind of just like to invent everything that I'm painting. Okay, so let's get a little bit of white paint, some cerulean blue. Let's mix that up to get a nice baby blue. And then we're going to have to work. So we'll get this part done first, and then we'll work on the main. We're going to do the outer edges, and then we'll do more discreetly the middle. I don't know, I'm having a hard time finding my words today. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit concentrated or just trying to think this whole thing out. And I think I'm going to use this brush right here. So let me come over to camera number 1 over here, and we will blend these blue and white paint together just to get a nice light cerulean blue. I'm going to just put some water in there. There we go. Let's blend all this in. If we need more white, we'll add more white. If we need more blue, we'll add more blue. At this point, it doesn't really matter what we come out with. We don't need it to be one shade lighter or darker, as long as it's in the baby blue tones, light cerulean. And that looks pretty good right there. I think it needs a little bit of water, though. It does feel awfully stiff, so I'm going to just bring this up and switch back to camera number 1. Camera number 2. Yes, today I'm a little rusty in my lingo. How's all this look? Still looks awfully thick. Maybe not. Might have to put 2 coats of this anyways for it to look nice. Maybe not. We'll see in a few seconds. So, where am I going to start? I'm going to start on this left-hand side like I usually do since I'm right-handed. If I start on the left-hand side, I'm pretty much guaranteed not to put my hands in the paint. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start right here. And let's go. just like that, except that I am going to switch brushes. There we go. Just get a different paintbrush that's a little bit softer in applying the paint. Just mix it with the paint that I just did, just to get the excess water out of there. There we go. So that's much better. We are going to have to come back here anyways later just to play around with all this. Honestly, I think I kind of just screwed up right in here. So, what can I do about that? Can I wipe it off since I just put it on? Is that possible? I think it is. So I'm just going to grab a rag that I'm going to wet pretty much. And I'm just going to wipe this off right like that. That is the beauty of acrylic paint. If you screw up, you can just erase it. That's what I'm going to do right here. The rest doesn't matter because I'm going to be working this paint anyway. So just like that. There we go. No one will ever know that done like this. There we go. Like I said, it doesn't really matter because we're going to be working all this a lot more. See what happens if I pull the camera back and zoom in a little bit. Can I paint without being in the way of the lens? Let's find out right now. There we go. There we go. There we go. Step back and take a look. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now what I want to do is just bring in, so I'm going to add a little more of this darker cerulean blue. I want to do the special effects in the middle of our sky. Going to add a little darker cerulean blue and more discreetly. It's all in very discreetly if possible. There we go. Kind of step back and check all this out. have the ballet, cosmic ballet. Knowing well that all this is going to darken as it dries. So I am happy with what I see. I have to let things dry because they will darken and blend in better, which is kind of what I want, of course. So as of right now, I'm going to leave that be. Okay. Okay, but I'll let that kind of dry up. I'm going to put the first coat of the light purple. Let's see if I can get a clean palette here together. If I'm guilty. Okay, so I'll let that dry. Obviously, it's giving me a hard time. No big deal. I got plenty of clean palettes right here. So I'll move this over here, make a little room for myself. And I am going to get the purple paint ready for my mountains. So let me get my knife out here. Again, this will be just the first coat because, well, because that's the way it goes. Do this several coats, going to work this all in. Just like that. Get this out of the way. Clean off my knife. There we go. I'm going to step back in my back room here and see if I have a purple. Yes, I have tons of purple paint. I buy all these materials knowing that I'm going to use certain colors more than others, and then I don't forget kind of which ones I bought. So anyway, so I got the purple there. I need white, of course. And I'm going to make sure my knife is clean. I don't want to get purple paint in my white can here. That looks pretty good. Okay. So let me get the white together here. There we go. And like usual, let's clean off our knife. So I don't have anything special planned this weekend, though I'm thinking that someone invited me Sunday for something. What was it? I don't remember. To go somewheres on Sunday? I forgot. Okay. It doesn't matter. I'm sure it'll come back to me. I have a tendency to write everything down in my calendar on my phone. Like that, I'm sure I don't blow anything like it used to happen to me quite a bit, forget things. So many different invitations, you know, art shows, concerts, shit like that. So if I don't write it down, I kind of, I'm warned like sometimes several weeks, sometimes months in advance. So if I don't write it down, I'm totally screwed. So what brush am I going to use? Okay, I'm going to have to dibble or, okay. Okay, this is just the first coat, so I guess I don't have to panic too much. But I would like to get the right brush, or a brush that I know I can use, and then I'll switch over if need be. All these are pretty big. Here's a smaller one. And actually the smallest, the one I really could use is the one I used for the cerulean blue earlier. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just go over here to my kitchen area back here and very quickly just clean off my little paintbrush. And I might as well empty out the jar of blue paint, blue water, back in here. There we go. So get some nice clean water in my jar here. And clean my brush off with a little bit of soap right in here. I'm pretty brutal when I clean my brushes because, like most people know, and especially if you've done house painting, you know that the paint always cakes up right where the hairs and the wood match. So I'm pretty brutal when I wash my brushes because eventually it will kill your brush, all that adds up. So I am pretty brutal, and at least I know that I've got most of the paint out of the brush. So might as well fill the jar up with some clean water. There we go. And no matter how well you clean up, for some reason the paint still cakes up on there. And then you end up with a brush like this one where it's nice and soft on the last half inch, but the half inch that touches the actual wood is hard as wood, just because of paint, the caking up little by little, little by little, and then eventually, there you have it. So let me get a lot of water on my brush. I'm going to come over to camera number 1 like I did before. Let me just bring this over here, just like that. And I'll bring it down here and switch over. So we have the dark purple, as you can tell right there, a little bit on the side as well. And then I'm just going to blend it in to get this beautiful mauve. There we go. I'm going to try to get a darker mauve to start off with. Yes, something like that. Beautiful dark. I'll do the effects later once it's dry. So this is just that first coat. I did put 2 coats on our main painting of the dark cobalt blue and the cerulean blue. And I'll probably have to put 2 coats of this before I can start even thinking about putting on the details. So I'm just going to make this a little bit darker, though I know it's going to dry darker, so maybe it wasn't very smart of me to do that, but still. So there we go. Do I have enough here? Do I have enough? I think I do. Okay, so let me bring camera number 1 back up to our canvas. There we go. And as you can already see, right where we had those details that were sticking out like sore thumbs, just because the paint has that tendency to darken, it already is blending in and being a lot more discreet. But we do want to keep this movement of sky, space, and the universe, of course, being cyclical and keeping everything that cosmic ballet alive. So I'm going to bring my chair over because at one point I'm going to have to sit down. And I am going to start off with my smaller brush in this area right up in here first. So let me get the excess water off the brush. There we go. This is very thick. In fact, it's too thick. So I am just going to blend in a little bit more water in my paint. We want the paint to flow on the canvas. I don't want to fight that canvas. So let's try it again. Let me switch back to camera number 1, or in fact, I'll go to double cameras right there. Double cameras, and like that with this one, I can actually zoom in more. Something like that. How about that? Okay. Yes, there, that's what we want. We want the paint to just flow in beautifully. Right here is where we're probably going to have to work things back and forth. That's no surprise. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to work that so it looks nicer. So, oops, fuck, I put my hand in the paint. Go. And go on top. Underneath. I don't know why I'm being so picky because this is, like I said, just the first coat or whatever. There. And that does it for the tiny brush. I can switch over to this wider brush over here. This brush is a lot stiffer, so it's going to show a lot more of the paintbrush marks. And there's too much water on that brush as well. Let me just squeeze some of it out. There we go. And I can sit my ass down as well as I bring the camera down as well, or even zoom out a little bit. How about that? And I'll just switch over to camera number 1. There we go. Just going to do the part to the frame first. So let me bring this camera over to the side. Again, I don't want to be in front of the lens. It drives me crazy. Let's do it like that. Well, there's a lot of water there. I just avoided a catastrophe of some sort. So just bring this all the way down like that. It doesn't matter because it's going to be covered up. And we're going to switch brushes as we get next to our main characters here. So let me just come over a little bit like that, pull out my smaller paintbrush, which I'm going to get rid of all the water, excess water right there. And I'm just going to step back 1 second, take a look again. Yes, there we go. So what am I doing? Am I staying with that camera? I'll just go to this one for a few seconds. Oh. Yeah, just get away from our And we can switch back to our other brush. And I'll switch over to where? What camera do I want to switch over to? Maybe to camera number, this one here, number 2, just to give me a different angle for my movie. Why not? Okay. Well, as I mentioned, this is just the first coat. So now, of course, there's going to be the background here, and you have to understand there's going to be leaves and plants and a whole bunch of other shit to go on this painting. So that is basically how it starts off, though. This is basically background days. So let me step back here and take a look and see how things are taking shape. They are, but what the hell happened there? I don't know. Let me quickly get a brush here. I must have screwed up somehow. Can you imagine that, screwing up? There we go. No one will ever notice. Anyways, so let me again step back and see how we're at. Okay, so this here, we can, as I mentioned earlier, start working out a little bit this part here. Go. And a little bit right over here. Just like that. There we go. And get back a little bit of my darker blue here. Let's get a little bit of this darker cerulean blue. Just a little bit here. Well, what the hell? Did I run out of blue? Then it's not coming out? There we go. I guess I am running out. Fortunately, I have plenty in the back room. So where are we here? Right here, yes. I did want to touch up a little bit right here. There we go. And we are trying to pull everything into perfection. I am going to come back right here. Yes, much better. And now we'll get back to our darker cerulean blue. Maybe I should zoom in camera number 1 so you can see what the hell I'm doing. That might help. Working right here on this little guy here. There we go. Very good. So I can pull this back out a little bit. Now, I just want to add a little bit of white paint and make a little bit of a light blue, even lighter than the one we had before, just to add a little bit of highlights to our sky. So just clean off the materials. Get the brush out here to mix in the white paint. This is making it very light blue, but I'm not going to put this everywhere. So it's just little highlights here and there, knowing very well that it's going to darken as well. Keep splattering paint on my keyboard right here. I use the keyboard right here on my table because this is what I use to switch cameras. You know, if I press on number 8, it becomes camera number 1. If I press on 5, it's camera number 2. And if I press on G, it's the dual cameras. And I have options with music or without music. So that's why the keyboard is over here. And man, if you saw the amount of, well, maybe I can show you on camera number 1, all the amount of paint that's on this keyboard here, it is getting worse and worse. But anyways, that's the way it goes. It's been very handy, though, I must say, to switch off between the cameras. So let's get back to my painting here because we are almost done for the day. I just want to add these little highlights, as I mentioned. So let me just grab a little bit of this paint right here. And for that, I'll come back to camera number 1, where I will zoom in a little bit like that. And I'll switch then to camera 1. Just a little bit of highlights like that. A little bit. The highlights will darken also. Nobody will ever see them, just for my There we go. And where it's a little too much, well, I'll just go back over it. Right in here. Yes, just like that. There we go. Just want things to be discreet, you know, barely noticeable. This will be a part that only you and I will know about. Nobody will ever notice. Plus, these highlights are going to darken as they dry. So there we go. And we are like that. We are finicky. And we have the basis of our movements. That's very good. We have our main character as well. So pull that back, have an overall view right there. And then, of course, we have our main person right there, mother, father, and child. And there you have it. That is basically, I guess, what we're going to do for today. I'll just bring the camera back here out of the way so we can have a global view of our painting and where we're at. Just like that. And I'll do the same here. Maybe I can even zoom in a little bit here. Why not? Just to show. How about that? Now, that is our view, camera number 2. Our view from camera number 1. And we are basically all done for the day. So, once again, my friends, I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. Didn't last very long. How long have we? Oh, an hour and 5 minutes. I have a feeling it lasted like 15 minutes, but anyways. I want to wish you all a wonderful weekend. I hope you all enjoy yourselves. I hope everything will be well with you. I hope as well you'll join me on Monday so that we can continue on this painting. We will probably have to put a second coat of this purple. Maybe not. Maybe we'll be able to dive right in with the details. After that, we can do the bottom part and then the way top part, without forgetting, of course, that when everything is done, we'll have the frame to do as well. So we have quite a bit of work to do, but that's the way it goes. That's what we enjoy painting. It's a lot of fun. So anyways, I'm going to leave you like usual with two things. The first thing is going to be my schedule. And the second thing is by saying, ciao mes amis.